Alrighty. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and get started this evening. Welcome all of you who are joining us. Let's get this party started. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I want to take the time to welcome you guys to the Recruiting Academy podcast. I am your host, Coach Holman, joined by the beloved Coach Hughes. One thing I want to say before we get started is that this is going to be on rebroadcast. So if you are listening or watching, please feel free to leave a comment, a review, like and subscribe on YouTube, and send us an email. Info@holmanathleticperformance.com is where you can send your emails. And next week, we're actually going to do a workshop and open it up. So we will send something out in regards to questions that you may potentially have, and allow you all to take the floor. Once again, if you're watching this on rebroadcast, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're listening to this or what time it may be. Once again, I'm your host, Coach Holman, joined by Coach Hughes this evening. So let's jump right into it. We're gonna follow up on a topic that we discussed last week in regards to camps. And camps are broken down into a couple different sectors. Last week we talked about mega camps. And Coach Hughes, do you mind recapping what mega camps are for the people that didn't have opportunity to join us last week or didn't get an opportunity to listen last week? You mind recapping what mega camps are?
Mega camps basically are larger camps where there's a lot of kids there, a lot of players there, a lot of coaches are there. And the biggest thing we talked about last week is to make sure you get your reps, make sure that you market, make sure you exchange information with the coaches, because there will be a lot of competition there. A lot of kids are there, but also there's a lot of schools representing themselves and a lot of coaches representing schools. So basically that's the quick story of it. The main thing we really talked about is when you're competing, get your reps. Don't wait for them to invite you. Get in there and get your reps done. Show them what you have. Because remember, this is investment. This is your future, and you just never know. You never know who's watching, and you just never know what's going to happen.
No, I love that, coaches. And just to piggyback off one thing that you discussed there is, a lot of times, it takes a little bit for some kids to warm up to a few things. So if you're a kid that it takes you some time to kind of figure things out, and understand what you're being asked to do, or warm yourself up to a potential where you can be able to compete and get better with each and every rep. So if you're only getting 4 reps at these camps, you're doing yourself a disservice, and then you're doing your parents a disservice, because you're wasting time, money, and energy. And the biggest thing at these camps, what Coach you just talked about, was that the coaches are not going to say, hey, how many reps do you have? Okay, you only have 5 or 2 reps. Okay, step up here and get more reps. They're gonna keep eyes on the guys that are constantly going out and competing and dominating. So make sure you put yourself in position to get additional reps. Right? There's been numerous times I've been at camps and kids have standing in the back and not taking the necessary reps to understand. To get a better understanding how many reps you ideally need to take at a camp. And this is going to transition to our next topic for camps part 2. Ideally, you want to at least minimum 10. That's the minimum amount of reps you want to take. 10 reps at a camp. And we're talking more so like when we're getting into competition and stuff like that at at the camps that hold competition stuff as far as one-on-one and three versus three, 7 on whatever it may be. Ideally, you want to take at minimum 10 reps. And then the max, there's no max. There's no max. There's just a minimum amount that you need to take. And I would say that number is 10. Now, does that mean that you're going to win all 10? Maybe not. But you at least want to get 10 reps, so that way you can walk away with saying, okay, hey, these are the things that I need to work on. You can't really judge yourself, and this is what a lot of kids do. They take 3 reps, 4 reps, and they judge themselves off those 3 or 4 reps, and it's almost like aiming at a target, right? And if you only take, a few shots, now unless you're like Michael Jordan or something like that, but if you take a few shots, a lot of times, you don't have enough reps to be able to say, okay, hey, this to really give yourself a fair grade, right? You think of a football game, you're taking at times 30 to 40 reps, and that gives you a large window to say, okay, hey, this is something that I really need to improve on, things that I need to work on more so than if you were a kid that didn't take 4 or 5 reps. You only took 4 or 5 reps. So please just make sure you take at minimum 10 reps. Step up there. If you gotta fist fight somebody for reps, I'm not encouraging fighting or violence, but step up there and demand the reps, right? Demand the reps. And if you have to go pay, for instance, if you're a O-line guy or D-line guy, you should be able to play all 5. O-line, you should be able to play all 5 spots. D-line, you should be able to play all 5 spots. If you are a basketball player, like, you should be able to, play all 5 positions. If boys and girls, if you are a baseball player, a soccer player, right? I know you play your traditional spot, but be open to going and playing other spots when you are taking part in these camps. So get those reps, and if you're a guy or a guy or girl that shies away, or parents, if you're listening, if you know your kid is shy and probably won't take the necessary reps they need, I would advise you to have them go to a camp that's maybe that is on a smaller scale. So that way they can have that one-on-one relationship with the instructors, to be able to give them an opportunity to be able to, build that confidence, right? Build that confidence, and get themselves prepared. And that's why we talk about and discuss is that you need to get out to camps, right? People always say, well, is this camp good? Is this camp bad? In my opinion, all camps are good. Now, some camps are gonna be better than other camps. That's just part of the deal. But it's an opportunity. At the end of the day, you have to say that parent and athlete have to say, okay, hey, what is the purpose of us going to this camp? Okay, the purpose is for you to get reps, and then for you to come back and say, okay, hey, these are the things I need to work on, and just to see where you are in regards to the people, not only in your town, your city, your county, but people maybe in the entire state or in a region or across the country, to be able to measure yourself up. Because at the end of the day, we talked about this, and we're going to continue to talk about this. The supply and demand for scholarships the supply is very, very low. The demand is very, very high, and that's across all sectors: football, basketball, lacrosse, tennis, golf. It's I guess across all sectors, right? So if you are taking the necessary steps to, go to camps and get reps and compete, and be able to say, okay, hey, this is where I stood out, but this is where I need to get some additional coaching, get some additional technique at the end of the day. So let's go ahead and segue into our topic for this evening, which is camps part 2. But we're going to talk about combines. Okay. Combines. There are a lot of combines. There are a lot of combines going on across the country. All right. And the idea of a combine is testing only. Okay. Testing only. Now, sometimes they may include the competition, the one-on-ones and stuff like that. So anytime you get invited to a combine, okay, a combine, all right, there's some organizations that host combines, such as Rivals, and the Opening. They have combines, and those are testing only, right? I know Rivals is free. Everybody and their grandma shows up to that, and kids come there. They go through. It's a lot of measurement. They go through their measurements. They go through testing, broad jump, uh, vertical jump, 40-yard dash, short shot, pro shuttle, L drill, things of that such, and that's it, right? So just be mindful when you are going to a combine, understanding that a lot of times it's only just be testing. Make sure you do your research and find out. So, Coach Holman, so should I not go to a combine? I'm not saying you should not go to a combine, but understand at the end of the day what the purpose of that event is for. It's for testing only, right? So if you're a kid that you have been talking to colleges, and they say, hey, you need to work on, your 40, or you need to work on your broad jump, or whatever testing piece is going to be there, and they're saying, hey, you need to work on that. That'll be a great opportunity for you to go and say, okay, hey, I've been training, I've been working on my starts, my get off, whatever it may be in regards to your testing. When it comes to testing, and now you say, okay, I need to go somewhere where I can get those things verified, and or just see where I am as far as the measuring stick when it comes to those things. That would be a great opportunity for you to go and partake in that combine. Okay. If you're looking for competition and stuff like that, you might want to segue more so towards camps. Now, camps do offer the combine piece within that, right? Now, sometimes people say, okay, hey, combine, but a lot of times they offer competition stuff and so you just have to do your research. But I don't want you showing up to a combine thinking that you're going to compete against somebody, but you're really just you're doing testing. In reality, you're competing against others as far as testing, but you're not like doing any actual like one-on-one me versus him, or her versus her, in regards to competition. So just please make sure you do your due diligence when it comes to combines. There, like I said, there's fairly a large amount out there, but not as many as regards to camps. Just touching back on camps real fast. A lot of times you go to camps, they will involve the combine piece as well into the camp. Typically, they do that at the beginning, and then they segue into the competition at the middle or towards the end of that. All right, so just please make sure you do your due diligence when it comes to doing research and finding out. There is nothing wrong going to combines, nothing absolutely wrong. All right, but just please make sure you go into this thing with the idea of exactly what you're trying to get out of the combine and or camp. All right, so please do your research. And just say, okay, hey, I'm just going to do testing today. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Or hey, I'm just going to test and be able to compete as well. So just do your research. All right, do your research. All right, there's nothing wrong with any of this. This was created to educate you all about what's out there. All right, so when you go to sign up for something, you have somewhat of an idea of what you're getting signed up for, and that way you can be able to make the judgment on your own. But at the end of the day, everybody needs reps. You need reps. iron sharpens iron. Iron sharpens iron, right? And if you are a kid or a parent that's investing in your athlete, um, you need to go and see if you're getting an ROI, sorry, return on your investment. Okay, so when you invest in private coaching, private training, they get a strength coach, they get a position specific coach, a pitching coach, a hitting coach, whatever coach you have out there. Okay, there's a lot of them. Um, you know, these camps, combines are opportunity to see how the ROI is adding up at the end of the day. So please, athletes, parents, um, do the research. Do the research. Um, take the time. But a lot of times you need the reps. So please go, go, go. There's nothing wrong with going. Um, at the end of the day, if nothing else, you give yourself an opportunity to be able to network not only with the players, but also the people that are organizing the event, which we talked about that ties into the marketing piece at the end of the day. So you have to change your mindset. Change your mindset from just thinking of it as just a camp, and then that's it. It's a branding opportunity. It's an opportunity for your athlete to be able to market themselves and put themselves out there into the universe for people to start talking and creating that buzz. Right, Coach Hughes talked about it earlier. You never know who's watching. Never know who's watching. You never know who's in the stands or who's working the event. That's how word gets spread a lot of times. You got to think about a lot of these kids when they before. Let's take kids that are unknown, but then they're like all of a sudden, getting a lot of interest and people are taking what somebody or somebodies have seen this kid, both male and female, at an event or somebody sent them a video of a kid, and what happens is people start to talk, right, and it becomes this boomerang effect, right. So it started like boom, small, and then it kept growing, kept growing, kept growing, kept growing, kept growing. So please, please, please take forth the opportunity and make sure you are partaking in these events across the board. Every sport. I know some sports are a little bit harder than others in regards to finding opportunities, but please feel free to reach out to myself or Coach Hughes in regards to helping you find those events that are out there. Because a lot of times, depending on the sport and the state, there's something going on pretty much almost, I would say at least once a month. And depending on the sport and the state, sometimes every weekend when that sport is not in season. So please, please feel free. I'm going to drop my number here. Shoot me a text, and me and Coach Hughes will be able to get you taken care of, or somebody from the team will be able to get you guys taken care of. That number to reach us, 844-342-5228. Number again is 844-342-5228. Feel free to shoot us a text message, give us a call, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. As soon as possible. Might be like literally as soon as you call, we'll answer. Okay, Coach Hughes, man. Got a few minutes here. Wanted to let you finish us off here with some final words before we bid everybody a good evening, and go from there.
Biggest advice I can give you is do your homework. You control your schoolwork. So that's one thing you do control. So make sure that you're getting your homework done. The higher the GPA, the better opportunities you will get and receive. So those are my food for thoughts this evening, Coach Holman.
Appreciate that, Coach. Yeah, we are entering the final quarter, or already have entered the final quarter for a lot of you athletes that play that are in school, especially the ones that are needing this final quarter to be able to um, be eligible to play in the fall, right? So if you play a fall sport, you have to have passed. From my understanding, you have to have passed the previous quarter before to be able to partake in it. So make sure you are putting yourself in position to be eligible to play, because if you are not playing, you won't get noticed. All right. Now there are some instances. I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. Uh, there are some instances where guys that have not played have had opportunities to play, but that is boys, both male and female, have had an opportunity to get a to earn something beyond that. But that's because they didn't play because they were sitting behind a guy or girl that was a senior, or a potential starter for 3 or 4 years. But they went to camps and stuff like that, got noticed. It's just for those sports that have positions that only can require one, like a quarterback, like teams that have that positions that only have a quarter, like for instance football they have one quarterback on the field, right? So it's hard to put two quarterbacks at the same time playing, right? So it could be situations like that. But please, just do your homework. Keep it simple, right? Everybody wants some control of things. There's your control, okay? Handle your responsibilities at the end of the day, and things will start to unfold. But be patient. Be patient. Be patient. Uh, there's people that have contacted me and said, I'm doing this, but it's not working yet, right? You only been doing it for like 3 or 4 months, right? It's not gonna happen instantly. I'm gonna be honest. Usually, it takes it could take up to roughly a year before things really start to gain traction and heat up, and you potentially get an offer. But at least a year, right? Now, sometimes it happens before that, but I just want you to understand it's not just that instant, like, okay, boom, I'm gonna start doing this stuff, and then boom, it should instantly happen. No, it's gonna be some trial and error and some things that you have to go back and redo. And the thing is, don't burn the ship, right? Is that what it is, Coach Hughes? Don't burn the ship, right? Don't burn the ship, or is it burn the ship? What's the term
Were
you
you
use?
talking about like don't burn bridges?
Yeah, well, don't worry, Bridget, but stay the course, right? Stay the course. Don't just because you tried and it initially did not work, doesn't mean you jump off of it and say, okay, I'm not gonna do it anymore, right? Stay the course. It's gonna take time, so you may have to do it something 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. You have to email school maybe 20 times before they finally answer back. But just keep going. Now, at some point in time, you have to move past the school, but just keep going. But you gotta be patient. Gotta be patient. I read an article, and I'll end with this. I read an article last year last year around signing day, and literally a kid did not get offered until I think a few days before signing day, um, from from the school that ended up offering, which was the University of Miami. Um, so things happen. Things happen. Hot times last minute. So just be patient, and control what you can control at the end of the day when it comes to this recruiting piece. You are not. You can't make a coach offer you, right? All you can do is present yourself accordingly. Make sure you have everything done that you can do: grades, um, GPA, test score, film. Those are all those four things you can control right there. Okay. Your film, you can control because you're the one that's playing out there at the end of the day. You, he or she, boy, girl, you're the one that's playing. So you can control that. All right. So listen, that wraps up our show. We will see you guys next week. We're going to talk about third-party camps. Third party. We kind of touched on it a little bit, but third party. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good one. God bless.